Now we'll go to our introduction class. So this is actually for Snowflake introduction or data warehouse introduction, whatever we can consider as a introduction.
Okay.
So in Snowflake, actually, when they are, it's came to in, actually they are just started to 2012 only. They founded in the Snowflake. So 2012 they are founded in Snowflake in California. In California only they are just started to working on this Snowflake data warehouse. So actually there are two guys are founded these things. Like one is a
Okay.
Benoit Dachville. Another one is a Theory. So Theory
Benoit
Kronos.
Dagfield.
Benoit Dachville and Theory Kronos. So these are the two guys are founded on the Snowflake actually. So they are actually working previously in data architect in Oracle Corporation. We have the Oracle company, right? So they are directly employed in the Oracle Corporation. They are data architect. So these two guys are started to developing the Snowflake stuffs, and they are released in. Actually, actually founded on 2012. Actually, they are released in 2014 only. They are started to releasing. So you don't tell I was working on the 2012, 2011. I was working on the Snowflake. We can't tell, right? Because in
Yeah, yeah.
Snowflake came on the 2014 only. After that only it's coming into the market. Then only we have to work on the Snowflake. Okay, this is
One
what.
doubt, Nizam, like Snowflake is for like it's like data storage or
Yeah, yeah. The next point is I'm going to that only.
okay.
So what Snowflake means, like it is a Snowflake is data warehouse, like that they are telling. So it is a cloud-based data warehouse. Cloud-based data warehouse. We need to know what is the so these are the guys are founded in the Snowflake. So we need to know about the what is a Snowflake. Snowflake is a cloud-based data warehouse, like that they told. So what is
Okay.
the data warehouse? We should know each and everything. So what is the data? What is the data warehouse? What is a cloud-based? Everything we will go to learn. So what is the data? So as of now, you can see whatever we have to storing. Those are all the data. Actually, whatever the information. So now you can see I have the pen. So if the pen has whatever the properties of the pen can write the blue color, pen can having the ballpoint gel pen, like there are many properties it has,
Hmm.
right? So those are all the properties of the pen information. So those information we have to call the data. So data means nothing, which is the information. So if it is based on the object information, based on the company or person, so it is based on the information, nothing but like which is the information only.
Like there is nothing related to anything. It's just the information.
Just the information, exactly. So if you are going to start a new business in your if you are planning to open a Xerox shop in your nearby any location, so what
Hmm.
you are going to do, so you have to just research on the location. So if the Xerox shop means it's what are the required for the Xerox shop, so it's required for the any students who are all there, if any school are nearby, so then only we have get some or else
Hmm.
any government offices nearby there. So these are all the information we have to gather, right? So this is
Yes,
the
yes.
data gathering. So if you are opening any business means we should know about the place. So these are all the place actually they are doing. So these are all the things actually we can go. So anywhere. So whatever the business if you are going to run, we should know about the information. We should collect the information. Or else if you are
Yeah.
go to buy any product from the any online website. So if I'm going to buy the shoe on directly in Amazon,
Hmm.
I will never directly buy the product. I just want to know about the shoe. So what is the review? What is the condition? What is the thing? So like everything I have to. So if I have the I am going to buy the new phone means I should review the information, right? Like I need to collect the information. So how this RAM, how this camera, everything I need to collect it. Then only I
Hmm.
will be buy the product. So this is what actually information. If I am going to open any new shop, I need to gather the information. If I am going to any buy a new things, I need to get the information. So this is how the business is going. So without the data, no one can runs the business. Business is working based on the data only. If Amazon, how the Amazon is working, so you can see if we are going to the Amazon. So this
Hmm.
is what Amazon. If I'm going to buy the any new phone, I'm plan to buy the new phones. I just searching the phone on in that Amazon place. So what will come? So what are the phones suggested? The Amazon will be suggested to us.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to buy in here. I just come out from the any other location. So I didn't buy to this. So where we are to going? So we are going to be any online application like any social media. If I'm going to the Facebook or any Instagram, what this Amazon guy doing? So he will give the information. So this is a guy. So you are the name means like you have the enrolled with your Gmail ID in your Amazon application. So the same Gmail ID you are using in your Instagram as well and Facebook as well, or phone number. So like any unique ID, about your unique ID, you have to given to these members. So what this Amazon guy doing? So he is searching this information, but he is not buying. So but he was not buying. He just went for in your location. Like I just coming into the Instagram. So what you are doing, whenever you comes to in this Instagram, you just show the advertisement about this product.
Yeah, the same thing.
Correct. So what we are doing, so if I forget to buying this product, then again and again get the
Yeah.
advertisement means, then again I can comes to if I click that
Yes.
advertisement, automatically it is integrated with this location, right?
Okay.
So this is how they are communicating with them. So
Yeah.
once I buy the product, now after you can consider we are buying the product. First of all, very first time you are to buying one product into the Amazon. So
Hmm.
still the Amazon showing the advertisement of the first product? They will never show. Once you buy the product, they will never show to the advertisement. If you're not buy the product, then only they will be given to your information to the
Hmm.
other environments. So this is how they are doing. So how they are got the information? I only gave the information, which means I only gave the data. So this is the data I
Yeah.
want to know. So that data they are selling to other places, communication places.
Okay.
So this is how they are doing the business. So you can see the data is very more important thing. So that is what as of now.
Okay, like that is why if Instagram, if we once go through some reels, the whenever I open, I get reels related to the same thing.
Exactly, correct. So you have get the same kind of information reels, like a same kind of reels as
Mm-hmm.
well. You will
Yeah.
receive. So they will be analyzing you. So this person,
Okay.
what are all the reels he is a guy that guy is
Watching.
looking. So this is the this is the data he is liking actually. So we will share about the same kind of information.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if someone is looking for the any cinema related reels, means they will be share about the cinema related reels. So
Yeah.
they will never show to about non-related educational reels, because
Mm.
he will get some bored on these reels. He will come out the application. So if he come out the application means they will never they will be get the amount of the how many hours we are spending that application. That only
Mm.
they are getting the amount. Okay. So this
Mm.
is the what the data they will given to us, the related data. So actually the as of now they are consider the data is the only major asset. So some guys are going to asking to the asking to the what is the data in Microsoft company. So Microsoft is telling the data is the fuel of them. So without data we can't do anything. So for the data is only fuel for us. Some guys are asking to some other companies, they are asking, they are telling about the data is the heart of the company. So
Mm.
everyone consider as a very big, like it's a brain of company, heart of company, it's a fuel of company. Without fuel we can't do any we can't drive
Mm.
anything, right? So like that. So the data is a very major asset in this world. So previously they are calling as asset means like whatever we have in a hand, like a land is a asset, our car is a
Mm.
asset. But today's data is a asset. If you know the data, we can start doing the business or we can do selling the something. So that is what.
Yeah.
So this is what the data. So as the data may be like there are lots of data we have. So you can see the data maybe is a numbers of data, characters is a one of the data. So there are lots of types of data. So numbers, characters, date, symbols, symbols, images, files, songs. So these all are the data only. So there are lots of data we have. So like a numbers kind of data, character type of data, date kind of data, symbols, images, files, videos, audios, everything it comes under the data only. Okay.
Okay.
So these are all the data. Now we have to store the data in any one of the place. Why we are going to store the data in any one of the place? Now you can see if you have the if you have the books. Okay. So you have the one of the English book into one room. So like a one shelf in this books you have to keep into in one place.
Mm.
Another books you have to keep into the another bedroom, and another rooms like you are placed in this hall you have to place in the history book, and here we have to place it in the science book. Now you can see if you want to get the science book means you have to search all into your in your whole house. You want to search, right? So you have to go to the hall, you
Mhm.
have to go to the bedroom, you have to go to the shelf. Now only you have to understand the, oh, here only I have the kept in my book. Okay, then we have to take in. So it will getting the more time, right? So if we are
Mm.
splitted into in our books means we're getting the more time. What we will do if we are instead of splitting into our book, we can kept all the books into the single place. That place is called the bag, right? If we are placing all the books into in our bag means what we can do. So in whenever we want to take the book, we can just open the bag itself, it's fine, right? So we don't want to
Hmm.
check the any other rooms as well. So if I'm open the bag, then I can easily identify this is a book I want. So then we can get the directly the book into in our. So this is what the time saving, right? So we don't want to go with any other location. Actually, this is what exactly they are doing into the database, which means data is splitted. Lots of data is splitted in one location. There are lots of data is splitted. If you want to, if you are planning to learn something, like if you want plan to do some PG, so are you looking to read the learn the MCA like that? If you are going to learn the course,
Hmm.
so what you are doing, you are not going to check with any each and every colleges. Like if you are planning to learn the Snowflake, right? So you don't want
Hmm.
to go with each and every location. You don't want to go with lively. You don't want to go. Instead of that, you just putting into the in search engine, Google. So what are the best coaching centers? You can get the reviews. Then only you are to planning, right? So all the data in what the Google is doing, all the data they are actually combined and they will be shown to you exact proper result. So then only we can get the directly their information. Okay, so we don't want to directly go to that college, so about the review, so we don't want to go like that. So this is what actually the data is doing. So the data is means like this is what the database. So inside the database we have to store into our data. So all the data actually they are storing into the one particular place. That place is called the database. Actually, why they are storing? Because we don't want to split up the data. We can get it the data in single place, right? So that is what they are storing. Also one more thing, if you are not storing the data, you can say I just draw these things, right? If I just
Hmm.
close without savings means I didn't save, just closed. What will happen? The data, all of the data has been collapsed and deleted, right? So if I get tomorrow also the same data means did I got the data for this deleted data? We can't, right? So again I need to do the drawing these things. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
So again, I need to draw the things, everything I need to draw. Instead of that, what we will do, we can save this file into in my local. Then whenever we want to the same file, we can directly open that file itself. So then we can reuse the data again and again if we are storing the data. So if I'm storing the data, then only I can reuse the data. If I are not storing the data, we can't reuse. That is the reason we are storing all the data into the database. Database means nothing, which is a collection of information.
Okay.
Here, actually, they are collecting the data, collection of information. So in market, we have the lots of data. So you can see, if we are going to, if we are planning to buy the memory card, means there are lots of memory card you have, right? So like a Samsung is release one memory card. Like there are many products, right? So there are many. If you are planning to buy any dresses, means like there are many products. They will be releasing their own product, right? Like there are many products into the databases as well. Like we
Hmm.
have the Oracle and SQL Server. SQL Server, DB2, Teradata. There are many databases: Teradata, Snowflake, MongoDB, Ingress, MySQL, Cassandra, Titan. There are
So, Nandam, Nizam, like now Snowflakes is a database. That means it's
yeah.
a thing where we store information.
Exactly, correct. Snowflake is also one of the database. I will come to the end. So this what is
Okay.
exactly why they are calling as a database in the Snowflake. I will comes to the end. So
Hmm.
anyway, so there are many databases we have in the market. So if you want to any database, we can go to that company. So Oracle is released by the which company? They are released by the Oracle
Hmm.
Corporation. This is the company actually they are releasing Microsoft SQL. They are releasing for the sorry SQL Server. They are releasing for the Microsoft company. DB2 is the IBM company. Teradata is a Teradata company. There are lots of companies they are released their own product. So what we need to do, we have to go with that company website. We can get it the data from them, so they will be given to us the database. So from the database we can store it our data from the that database itself. Okay, this is what the data we can store it into the database. Okay, now you can see how can we have to store the data. So this is the data. Here we have to go to the store the database. So this is the database. Here this is the data. So from where we get the data, that place we are calling as a source system. Source means wherever we have to receive, wherever we have to get the data, who sent the data, that is a source environment, right? So we have to receive the data from the source only. So if the data is very less size, like if it is a 50 MB or 100 MB or 1 GB, these are all the considered as a very less MB only. So
Hmm.
if it is a data is very less MB, we can directly load the data into our database. You can consider consider you are living in your location. So this is actually your home. So if you want to go with any buying any normal shops, like if you want to buy the any biscuit packet, means in your nearby shops you can go, you can directly get it the whatever we want to planning to buy the product, you can directly walkable distance is fine, right? So if it is a
Mm.
nearby shop means walkable distance is fine. If you are buying planning to buy the any very long duration, so this is a very long to compare with your house, means this is very distance is very high, so you are not able to walkable. So what you will do, so you have to use any transport, right? So you need to take it any bike or any public transport like buses, or you can go with from there, and only then only you can go to in this location, right? So the same thing, so if the data is very less means we can directly load it into in our database. If the data is very huge, like in real time we will never receive the data is like this kind of the less MB. It in
Mm.
real time you will receive the 10 GB of data, 5 TB of data, like this only you will receive the very very huge size of the data only you will receive. So we can't directly load the huge data into our database. So how can we have to load? So now only we have to do the one of the process. That process is called the ETL. So did you hear the word of the ETL?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, so this is what the ETL is coming into the picture. So what this ETL is doing, so they are getting the data. If the data is very huge, means they are actually getting the data and load it into our database. This is what the ETL process is doing. So now
It is
we
a
need to,
tool, no?
yeah, I will comes to that. They are actually prepare the tools as well. I will come to the whatever the tools are available in market. So before that, we want to know what is actually ETL process is doing. So ETL is actually ETL means E as an extract, T for transform,
Okay.
L as load. L means load. So this is what actually the ETL process. ETL process means extracting the data, transform the data, load the data. So what is the extract? Extract means it is get the data from the source. So this is a source, right? It just
Mm.
get the data. Extract means it will be getting the data.
Take.
Like you can consider, yeah, taking the data. You can consider as a import. Import means we have to importing from one place to another place, right? That is the
Mm.
called extracting. Extracting means getting the data or taking the data. Extracting means getting the data from source. From source we have to getting the data. Now next step is a transform. What is a transform? So transform means like changing the data. So we have to do some transformation in the data. So why we have to do the transformation in the data? So now we can consider as a real time example. You can see if you are go to the any meat shop or any vegetable shop, you are buying some chicken or any vegetables you are buying in the shop, okay? So now you are going to do the cooking. So you will never cook the vegetables in directly, right? So what you need to do, you have to clean the chicken, right? Without cleaning
Mm.
the chicken we are not going to the cook, right? So with cleaning the chicken and do some preparation, do some masala, some lots of things we have to do, add that chicken, right? Then
Mm.
only we have to start cooking. So we can't directly take the chicken and we are not directly go to the putting into the our cooking. So we have to take it from the shop and we have to start doing some cleaning work. Then only we have to do the some we have to start cooking. So this is actually exactly we are doing the transformation, which means the data will comes to the very incorrectly. Like if you can see sometimes the data will comes like a like this. So if the data is coming like this, so what is happening here, the data it looks like looks fine only. The name is Akila is fine
Mm.
only, but what is the thing, so it is looks not good. So what we have to do, we have to do the some changes. The first letter should be start with like this, so like this we have to do the changes. So the sometimes the data it's come like this, or else you can see if we have the numbers means like if it is a numbers means like this is a number means what we have to do. If it is a Indian number means what is a business required to us, so the number should be start with +91. So the actual data looks like this. We have to do add the some inputs before that number, okay? So we have to add the +91 before the number. So like this have we have to do something. So actual data like this, we have to change the data like this. So this is what the transformation means, nothing which is the transforming the data. So like this the data it's going to like this. So this is what we can do the transformation. And sometimes what will happen, so the same data it's coming to repeatedly, so the same number is coming to again and again means we have to do the remove the duplicate as well. So we can get the one time, it's fine. So we don't want to again and again. So you can see customers, they are if we are going to the supermarket, means you have to buying the product in supermarket, what will happen? So we have to, they are kept our phone number and our name as well into the supermarket. What they are
Oh,
doing, whenever how many times we have to go the supermarket, every time they are noted about our information.
mhm.
If we are again and again buying, means again and again your information is repeated, so it comes under the duplicate only. They don't want to keep the duplicate data. So what will happen? So if you are keeping the duplicate data as well, so taking the more memory space, right? If we are taking the same picture again and again, means so in our memory card, very quickly it will be completed, right? So we don't want to take the again and again the same picture. So one picture is enough in our camera. So like this we have to do the remove the duplication. These are all the coming under the transformation. So this is what we have to do in this place. Actually, they are taking the data from one place and putting into any one common place. From that place we have to do the transformation. So after the transformation is done, then we have to load the data in our database. This is what
Oh,
actually the database is ETL is doing. So ETL is one of the process. This is a process getting the data, transform the data, then we can load it into our database. In our market, there are many ETL tools are actually they are released. So what are all the ETL tools? Means you did you hear the Informatica tool? One of the very
no,
big
no,
tool.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I've just heard people telling I work on ATL and that's all.
Yeah. So this is actually what they are doing the ETL. So there are
Like
many.
transforming is nothing but like according to the requirement will transform or
Correct.
there if
No,
are there any basic things that we
no,
need to
it is a requirement only. So
okay.
they don't want to accept like this kind of the data. Business what they are accepting, it should be start with the capital only. Like that, it should be start with the +9 one. If sometimes we are loading the data in our Indian date format 10
Mm-hmm.
4 2023. So what will happen if the date is going to be a US, means they should transform this data. It start from 10 month. It should be start and the sorry, yeah, date is coming to the next. Like this the we have to do the we have to do some changes into the date format as well. So
Oh,
this is how they are asking to the business requirement. So business needs the transformation, then only we have to do the transformation.
okay.
Otherwise we don't want to do the any transformation things.
Okay.
Okay. So ETL tools, there are many ETL tools. We have Informatica, Talent, Oracle also provide the one of the ETL tool. Oracle data integration, ODI they are calling like that is a ODI. ODI, data stage. There are many tools we have. Data stage, SSIS, Ab initio, Pentaho, big data, like data factory. There are many ETL tools we have in that market. So we can get it the any ETL tool. If you want to learn the ETL tool, it is a separate section. So if you want to go to the learn the Informatica, it is a very big thing. So we want to learn from the beginning. Is Informatica is a very big. So talent is a very big. So it is a separate things. Like if you want to learn the ETL process, we have to do. But in Snowflake, we don't want to go with the ETL tool. Like customer will ask to you, already I buy the Snowflake. It's one of the, we have to buy the database as well. We have to provide the cost and we have to get the data, right? So customer will tell, already I give the amount to buy the Snowflake application. Again, you are asking to amount for the doing the ETL process. Then do I need to give the again and again the amount? So they will be get unsatisfied with that, right? So what Snowflake will do, they will doing for the inbuilt in their ETL things. We can do it in Snowflake inbuilt. Like we can
Okay.
itself Snowflake we can do in the ETL process. So in
Mhm.
export we can do, transformation we can do, and the load is also we can do. We don't want to go with the any ETL tool if you know the Snowflake. Anyway, anyway the real time they will using the ETL tool as well in our market, because we can do it in very quickly with using the ETL because they are using for the purposely for the these things only, right? So if Snowflake means it is the purpose is lots of things. It's going like that. So you can consider if the purpose like in Google actually they are providing the lots of tools. Google search engine, Google Photos, PDF. There are lots of product they are released. Also they will releasing as a GPay as well, right? That is also Google Pay. So comparing with the GPay, phone pay is much faster in once upon a time GPay is slow and phone pay is much faster. Why? Because Google is released for the lots of products. So actually they are concentrated for every places. But phone pay is purposely they are doing for the amount transaction only. So they are concentrate only for the phone transaction amount thing only. Okay, so that's what actually the ETL is the purposely they are doing for the transformation thing. So that's what it is comparing with the other loading. It is more faster to comparing with the other loading. Okay, so now we are coming into the now we are completed the ETL. So why we are coming to the ETL? If the data is very big means then we can go with the ETL only.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
now we have to go with the what are all the database. Now we can see the data the data is in here. So we have to do some transformation. Then we can load the data. In the data, we can if we are go to the Oracle. So we have to go to the Oracle. We are asking to them give me the database. So this time actually the previously they are given to us only one single database. I just extend this screen 1 minute. Previously what they are doing, they are just given to us only one database only. So this is called the database. They are just given to us database only. So this time, so after few days actually what they are doing, some another database also they are giving. So two things they are given. So this name is they are actually calling as a data warehouse. Now you can consider if you are go to the any memory, if you are plan to buy the memory card. So if you are buying the memory card one, planning to buy the memory card, we are went to the shop and asking to the memory card, they will given to us a memory card. So they will be given to memory card only. They will not given to the another memory card. We if we are asking to the memory card, the only one memory card only they will given. Okay, but
Mm.
what will happen? This in databases environment, they are given to us two different things. One is a database, another one is a data warehouse. What is mean by this? What is a database? It is storing the data. That is what the database, right? What is a
Mm.
data warehouse? Data warehouse, which means like a warehouse means like a godown, right? Whatever the objects we have to do, we can store it from the godown, right? So that is
Yeah.
also storing the storing place only. So what is the storing? Data storing, which means data warehouse means data storing. So both are doing the same work only. So database is also storing the data. Data warehouse also storing the data. So what is the difference between these two? Now we have to understand these two. So now you have to working one of the company. Now we are working of the ABC company. We can consider. So this is a employee. Employee have the employee ID card as a 100. So this is the employee ID number. So what he has to do, he has using this employee ID, then only he can enter the company. You know already, right? Without ID card, we can't log in,
Mm.
right? So they will be asking to some at least temporary ID card, right? Without
Mm.
ID card, we can't do. So which means like if you are the data, so that data should be have the login. Now the data should do some progress with using the ID card. Like if we are doing some progress, like we have to go break and something. So like a ODC login like that, we have to do something inside the company as well. Then with using the ID card, we have to come out the company as well. So log in and do some work and log out as well. It is doing. So if the data is currently working, then only we can do these things. If the data is not working, he is putting the paper and resign to the company. Now he has the same ID number. You can see if he is not working on this company, is able to log in this company.
No, like access will be removed.
Yeah, access has been removed. Also, the working also he is not able to log in. He is not able to working as well. He is not able to log out as well because he is not in login, right?
Mm.
So nothing it will be. So the data is what will happen. The data is unwanted data. So now can we delete this data because we are not going to use this data in future, right? Because he is in
Mm.
out of the company. We can delete
Mm.
like that. But in real time, they will never delete the data. Now you can see you have to complete your college in past 5 years or 10 years back
Mm.
you have to complete your college. Now
Yeah.
also you can go to that college, you can ask about your information. They have store in your information their place only, right? So
Mm.
whatever you have, like you are completed this course, you have to completed this year, everything they are kept in their information, right? Actually that is what the we have to store the data. So how many years we can whatever it's happening, but we should store our the data. If he is working or not working, we don't want about the bother about the thing. We just storing out the data because lots of years went that the data it's recorded to us. So previously what they are doing, active data also they are storing into in here, and inactive data also they are storing into here. Okay, so what will happen? So both data, if it is combining into the same location, means you can see if we are loading the, sorry, if you are downloaded some songs in your memory card, what you are doing, so you have to listen the songs, and if you don't want to like the song, you can delete the song, then you
Yeah.
can get the data
Mm.
memory space. But in the real time they don't want to delete the data because they want to keep the data in their system only. So what will happen? Memory is very quickly, the memory has been occupied, right?
Mm.
So then what we have to do again, we have to another, buy the new database, like we have to buy the new memory card, another memory card, like that we have to get it the memory card, lots of memory cards. So this is what the amount also have been increased. Also this is not good idea if we are buying again and again. So what will happen, what we can do, whatever the current data, like whatever the active data, you can keep it as a database. Whatever the inactive data, you can keep it as a data warehouse, which means active data means current data.
Using.
Exactly. Current data, currently active data only we can keep it here. Whatever the data is coming into the inactive, that is the data is called as a historical data. So history data they are kept in is a where in data warehouse. So here they are actually storing into the data warehouse. Now you can understand which data they are storing in the data warehouse, which data they are storing in the
Yeah,
database.
one more doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you need, if we are in a company and we, if we want to store our data,
Mm-hmm.
then we need both database and data warehouse.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, actually, they will be segregated for. Actually, they will given to us like this only. We have to do some
Oh,
segregation. So this is a one data warehouse, and we have to segregate the data warehouse as well. Okay, like this we have to segregate them. In database, database we have to store the current data, and data warehouse we have to store in the historical data. Okay, so now we have to understand when the data is going to be a historical, when the data is going to be a current data. Now, how they are consider this one? So always OL actually the database actually here they are given to the name as a OLTP, and here they are actually given the name as a OLAP.
oh,
OLTP means online. I'm sorry, online transaction process. This is they are actually given the name as a online transaction process. In here actually they are given the name as a online analytical process. So why they are given the name as a OLTP, OLAP? We want to understand. So OLTP, which means like a transaction process. You can see in the same example, the data it's in now it is outside. Now the what is the data is doing? So it's doing some transaction. So the data is coming inside. So there are some transaction is happening. Transaction means like a performance is happening into here, right? So there are some performances transformation is doing like a, not transformation, transaction. In here too, it's coming into here means transaction, and doing some work, and here doing some work, so again tomorrow also doing the same work, right? So again
mm,
tomorrow also there are doing some transaction. So this is what the transaction, the current data, why they are calling it the current data transaction means sorry, why they are calling this is a online transaction process means here the data doing always transaction is happening. So every time some transaction is happening into this place. Okay, but not happening into in this data. Whereas you can see if the data is inactive data, he is not going to be inside the company, is not going to be work outside, nothing will happen. But the data they are actually storing the data, right? Here you can see they are doing some transaction, they will never do any transaction. But they, if you want to know about this data, we have to do the analyze, like which date is expired, which what are all the action he was done. So we have to do the analyze, and then only we have understand this data, right? So that is what they are
mm,
calling as a analytical process. Analytical process means from in the data warehouse we can just analyze the data. From the database we have to do the transaction data. Okay, that is what they are
mm,
calling as a these two different names. Now we can see when the data is coming into the data warehouse, when the data is coming into the database. So both we need to know. So the database, which means like a OLTP are always having the 6 years of data or 1 year of data. Now you can see Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. This is a 6 months of data only. They are just kept it in OLTP. OLTP means current data only storing, which means
mm.
a database. So this is a 6 months of data only they are storing. What will happen suddenly if the next month will happen? So July will come. So now we can see which is a 6 month. start from July to Feb only 6 months, right? Now
Oh,
Jan is the seventh month. Now what we'll doing? This Jan is going to be the OLAP. This is the history data. This is how the data is changing the historical data. Okay. Now if the data is coming to the August month, if the August month of data, if we are loading means now which one is the 6 months of data? From start August
March.
to March is the 6 month. Now Feb is going to be a historical data. This is how the our data warehouse got the data. Now we can see always we have this 6 months of data only on here, but in here years of years data, because already we are storing into the 2020 data, 2021, 2022. Every history data is coming into in year only, right? But here actually they are showing only 6 months of data, but here
Correct.
we have to show it the history years of years data. So that is the reason database always having the less data. But in data warehouse always, which means like a warehouse means like a godown only, right? In normal term,
Mhm.
we have to talk calling as a godown. Godown means lots of object we can store it in that place. So that is the reason. Like a here we can store in the years of years data. Like we can consider say one database here in data warehouse mean 100 databases. 100 database combined as a data warehouse. Now we can understand what is a database and data warehouses.
Yes.
So
Like one more doubt for database, is there any time limit for
yeah,
each?
yeah, definitely. Actually, they will be considered as a 1 year of data. Here,
Okay.
actually, they will be having the
It
data.
depends upon the database we
Depends
choose.
upon the client, so they will be
Okay.
asking to I for database you can consider as a 1 year of data only you can consider. If it's going to the lots of years means you can go move those data into the data warehouse. So they have
Okay.
set the time limit of the database. It's if they some companies they are keep as a 6 month of data, some companies they are keeping as a 1 year of data, like that only. But
Okay.
here we don't have any time limit. Here we have to storing as a years of years data. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, now we have to understand what is a database and what is a data warehouse. Now we will comes to the what are all the data warehouse. So all the companies are providing the database as well, data warehouse as well. They will be
Mm.
everyone placing the data warehouse as well. Okay, now we have
Okay.
to coming into the Snowflake is also one of the. Now I just put it into the name in here. You can see, Snowflake is
Cloud
the
based.
cloud-based data warehouse. Now we want to know what is a cloud-based. Before we go to the cloud-based, what are all the databases in previously we have. Now why we want to comes to the Snowflake data warehouse. Now we want to go to the generation of the data warehouse.
Listen, like
Sorry.
it is, you're telling like it is data warehouse. That means it is not a database. It's
No,
just
no,
a
no, no,
warehouse.
no, no. Which means like it's combined. So if they are
Okay.
calling as a data warehouse means it's combined with the database and the data warehouse. But
Okay.
majorly focusing is data warehouse in the Snowflake actually.
Okay.
So okay, now we have to comes to the what are all the both are same only, right? So if one is a database,
Mm-hmm.
one database. If 100 database is called the, if 100 database combined means that is a
A
data
warehouse.
warehouse, correct? Okay, so okay, now we have to understand the what are all the generation of data warehouses we have, which means like a database or data warehouse, both are same only.
Mm.
So what are all the generations? The first generation of the data warehouse is Oracle. So these are all the guys are releasing the first generation. So Oracle or Microsoft SQL, which means a SQL server. So this is the guy. This is they are only released the first generation. So after this only we have to second generation is which means like a Teradata. So second generation is Teradata and Vertica. These are the guys are released for the second generation. So next is the third generation. Third generation is big data. It is provided by the Google. Fourth generation is Redshift, and fifth generation is Snowflake. So this is a current generation, actually we are in staying on here. So fifth generation actually. Okay, so you can see first generation Oracle, second generation Teradata, third generation big data Redshift and Snowflake. Now these two guys are competitor, like a Redshift with Snowflake. So what is a actually Redshift is provided by the AWS, you know, right? So that is one of the cloud which is released by the Amazon. So Amazon they are released one of the cloud. Actually, also they have the data warehouse also. That is a warehouse.
AWS. Huh?
Yeah, AWS. So AWS, which is released by the whom they are released by the Amazon cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are also having their own data warehouse. That data warehouse is called the Redshift. Okay,
Oh,
so this Redshift and with Snowflake only, it's going to the competitor. I will comes to why we are not going to the Redshift instead of the Redshift. Why we need to comes to the Snowflake? Definitely,
oh.
interview will ask you.
Okay, Nizam,
Mhm.
like you're telling first generation, second generation. It like what is the generation mean? Like why are they upgrading every time?
Correct. So why we have to upgrading every time? So that is what actually I'm going to tell now. So these three are actually first generation to third generation. Actually, they are all different
Yeah, even
servers.
big data I've heard. Remain.
Yeah. So these three are same, which means like these three are they are called as a on premises. Did you hear the word of on premises?
No,
Yeah,
no.
which means what is a on premises we need to know. So on premises means we should install the application. So if I'm going to the soft, like if I'm going to the Oracle or Teradata or Big Data, if I'm going to them, ask the database, what they are given to us, they are given to the configuration file and the package. So we have to do the installation of our computer. So what is required, we have to do the installation, and we need to do the update, and we need to do the configuration, and we have to sit with one developer and do the maintenance. There are lots of things is happening, right? So you can see, if you are chatting with your friends with using the WhatsApp, means without installing the WhatsApp, are you able to chatting with your friends with
No,
using
no.
without installing? It is not possible. So if you are chatting with the Facebook, means you can directly go to the Facebook website. From there you can directly chat with them, right? So it's
Mm.
not required to installing the application, because the Facebook is having the separate own link that is called the cloud. So which means we, if you want, that is actually on premises, means if you want to use these softwares, means we have to install in our system only, then only we can use this software. Without installing, we are not able to use this software. Okay, but Redshift and Snowflake, it's not like that. They are not like a on premises. You understand what is on premises?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to
Like they
install
have
this.
to be in our system to work on. Like we need to store the data or something. We have to first install, update, and then only we can use it for storage.
Exactly. That is what we have to do. But in the Redshift or Snowflake, it's not like that. They are actually both are cloud-based work. So, which means we don't want to install our application. If we are going to the, if we are went to the Snowflake or Redshift, if we are asking to them, give me the software, what they will given to us, they will given to us one of the cloud link. So from that link only we can accessing their database. Before that, we have to create one of the account to them. So if you want to use the Gmail, means you should create the Gmail account, right? Like that.
Mm.
So if you want to use their databases, means we should create the account to them, and then only they will be given to us the this links.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what the difference between the on-premises and the cloud. So instead of installing these things, we don't want to installing, right? So
Yeah.
here you can see we don't want to install, so we can directly accessing them. So then why we are coming? Both are the cloud only. Both are the Redshift and the Snowflake. Both are the cloud only. Why we are go to the Redshift instead of Snowflake? So sorry, why we are going to the Snowflake instead of the Redshift? Okay, can I take 10 more minutes? Are you
Yeah.
okay with
Yeah.
that? Okay, so I will complete 10 minutes. Okay, so why we are going to the Redshift instead of, sorry, why we are going to the Snowflake instead of the Redshifts? Now you can consider, if you are living one of the place. So actually you are living.
Nizam, like
Mhm.
Redshift is from Amazon. Snowflake is from.
Snowflake is directly they are released by the Snowflake company only. So
Okay.
this is a direct Snowflake company.
Mm.
Redshift is one of the data warehouse which is released by the Amazon. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are coming into the point like why we are to going to the Snowflake instead of the Redshift. Now you can consider say you are living in one of the place which is the you can consider say if you are living as a Hyderabad.
Mm.
So if you want to go with any nearby location, means if you are going to be any nearby Andhra Pradesh is nearby yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if your Andhra is nearby you, so are you if you go to the Hyderabad, sorry, if you are in Hyderabad, if you are going to the Andhra, are you buying the car? So
No.
let's take an example. If we are buying the car to go with Andhra, we can buy the car and go to the Andhra. So
Mm.
what are the things happen? We have to spend more amount for the buying the car, and we have to put the petrol, diesel, maintenance, services, put the driver also. There are
Yeah.
many things we have to do if we are buying the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what the on premises. If we are buying the direct software means, this is what the issue is happening. So we
Okay.
have to do manually we have to do. Instead of buying the car, we can do one more thing. We can get
And
the rented car. Great. So if we are get the rented car means we can pay the rent only, right? We don't want to pay the entire amount to buy the car. We can just pay the rent only. That is fine for us. So compared with the direct buying, rent is fine. Now you can consider you have to stay with the 5 days of 5 days of Andhra. Okay. Now, how many days take for the going to Andhra to like Hyderabad? So you can consider say one day it's enough, right?
yeah.
So one day is enough. From one day you can go to the from Andhra to sorry from Hyderabad to Andhra. So where you coming to the return means like a fifth day only you will be returned to Andhra to Hyderabad. Okay.
Correct.
So how many days you took? Overall, you have to stay for the 5 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how many days you are using in your car? 2 days only. So this is
Okay.
actually car. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
from Hyderabad to Andhra, Andhra one day. From Andhra
Andhra to
to Hyderabad another day. So there are 2 day only you are using the car. But how many days you are paying?
5 days.
5 days. That is what the issue. So what will happen? We are not using for the 3 days, even though we have to pay if we are getting the rented car, right? So
Okay.
this is what the redshift. So if we are go to ask to them the database, we have to get the data from them to a rented base only. So we have to pay for the without using also we have to pay. Okay. So what without using I will tell, which means like a computing cost, storage cost like that. They are considering. So I will comes to that point in later.
Mhm.
So without using also we have to pay. That is what the redshift. Okay. So instead of that, we can do one more
Like
thing.
Nizam, once we take the database, like it is always a process. We always store the data, right? Whenever we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not.
If we are buying the database indirectly, we don't want to pay each and every month. But if you are
Mm-hmm.
buying the database from the cloud means we have to pay for the each and every month. That is what the issue.
Okay.
So we don't want to store. If our project, you can see our project is only for the 30 days of project. So consider say
Okay.
30 days of project. So in this 30 days of project, do we need to buy the one new database? We don't want. If 30 days
Hmm.
of work means we don't want to buy the car, right? The 30 days,
Like
30
I
days.
have a doubt. If
uh,
see, suppose I've developed an app like Facebook or WhatsApp.
okay.
So I continuously my customers or what like users will be using that app. So all that will be stored in one database, right?
Okay. So
So
for
there is
that.
no day going like it is free. Like what you gave example, like 3 days we are not using. There will not be any days which is not used. Every day we are using that, right?
Correct, correct, correct. Now you can see every day we are not going to be used. There is a no limit like that you are saying. But
Hmm.
for Facebook, you can see you can accessing the Facebook with your phone as well. But you
Yeah.
can accessing your Facebook if you have the account means you can accessing that in your system as well.
Yeah.
So there are many devices you can connect, right?
Hmm.
So that is what the cloud. Okay. So if you are using the installation means you have to use in your device only. If you in your WhatsApp, you can consider as a WhatsApp, you can use
Hmm.
in your device only. We are not able to log in with account that will never possible, right? So if your account in your cloud means from that cloud you can consider say Google Drive. So you have to store the Google Drive in your data. So comparing with the Google Drive is memory card. You have the memory card. Can I see the memory card? So whatever the data you have to store into inside the memory card, can I see? I'm not able
No,
to
no.
see that, right? If you store the data into your Google Drive, if you gave the link as well to me, so you can
Hmm.
check the data. I have kept it is here. So can I see the data now? If
Yeah.
you yeah, so this is what the difference between the cloud and the on premises and the cloud. So
Hey,
on.
one doubt,
Mhm.
Nizam. Like Snowflake is giving us database along with data.
Yeah, data means we have to store, right? So data means whatever the
Hmm.
customer only given to us data, those data we have to storing into our database. So this is the X is the one of the employee where they are
Hmm.
storing the X information, the database. X is the.
I a small stupid doubt. Like we are buying database means it is an empty
Yeah,
storage
empty,
space.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
empty.
We'll store our required data in them.
Exactly.
We are
So if
not
you.
buying data from them. We are
No, no,
just
no, no.
buying the storage.
Storage only, exactly. So if you are buying the memory card means they will never given to the with the data. They
Mm-mm.
just given to us memory card as well only. So we have to keep our all the data into that place. So empty database only we will buy. From the database we can store our data. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now we can go. If we are getting the rented also, we have to getting the headache because we not using the 3 days of 3 days, even though we have to pay, right? So that is what the issue. Instead of that, we can do one more thing. We have to put the Ola from Hyderabad to Andhra.
Okay, okay.
Using the Ola,
Till yeah.
we don't want to put the petrol. We don't want to put the services, paint, diesel, car, like a driver. We don't want to give the salary of the driver. Nothing is required. What we have to pay, how many
Yes.
kilometers it's taken, that kilometers only we can pay for the Ola, Uber, like that we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the Snowflake, which means whatever we have to used, that usage only we can pay.
Paid.
So 5 days, right? So one day we have to pay, another fifth day if we are came means, so another day
Paid.
we can pay.
Yeah.
So now we can see 3 days we don't want to pay, 2 days only we can pay, 3 days is a savings. So that is the reason we are coming into the Redshift instead of, sorry, that is the reason we are coming into the Snowflake instead of the Redshift. Okay, there are few more differences we have. So there are, we can store the semi-structured data in here easily in Snowflake. That will comes to the later because you don't know what is the semi-structured
Yeah.
data at all.
Like
So I
on
will.
a overall, if an interviewer asks me like why,
Mhm.
like what is the for this point, how can I answer them? Like,
Yeah, I will give the three more points. From the
okay,
3 points, you can easily answer to them. So actually, definitely interviewer will ask you because I to have the I to attend the interview. They are asking to me as well. So what is the difference between Redshift and the Snowflake? We
okay,
have to tell. If I'm telling to you now, means you cannot get. It's like I'm
okay.
just telling to you.
No, I'm
Redshift.
not just asking the whole answer, but this example you gave, right? Like only on those days, what we are using, we are
Actually,
paying
yeah,
that
that is
in
for
a more
understanding
precise.
purpose. Yeah, this is for the
Okay.
understanding purpose.
Yeah, that is what.
How?
Like,
Yeah.
how can I explain them that
That
point?
will I will tell you later. Like
Okay.
Redshift has combined with the compute and storage, but Snowflake is not combined with Redshift and storage. And there are
Okay.
some
This is
points.
only one part, whatever you told me.
Exactly. So for
Okay.
this understanding purpose, I am just telling for the own car,
Okay.
rented car, but this kind of things understanding purpose.
Hmm.
Okay. So that is the reason we are coming into the Snowflake
Snowflake.
instead of the Redshift. Now you can understand for what are all the on-premises tool, what are all the cloud tools, why
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are coming
It
into the
is very
cloud.
clear. Like
Okay.
one more doubt, if next gen again some other database comes, we have to upgrade to that.
Yeah, we have to update, but even though Snowflake is very huge now, the now only it's coming, right? So
Oh,
they are
okay.
doing
Yeah,
very
it's
huge
been a
market.
lot, 10, even 10 years, right? It's
Correct,
been nine
correct.
years.
So that is actually very huge market in Snowflake. There are
Okay.
lots of openings in going in the Snowflake actually. Even though still Oracle is number one, so because the Oracle is very much of a good database actually. So still they are using for the Oracle database and the SQL Server. Lots of projects still they are using Oracle and the
Hmm.
SQL Server. But what they are doing from the Oracle to they are migrated the data from Oracle to Snowflake. Actually, I'm also working of the one of the migration project which is migrating from the Teradata to Snowflake. Actually,
Okay.
they are previously used for the Teradata. Comparing with Teradata to Snowflake, there are lots of huge what is it? The features in we have in Snowflake. So that's what they are migrating from old database to Snowflake. So
Okay.
there are lots of data from the old to coming into the Snowflake. So okay, this is what
Okay.
we have to coming into this picture for the Snowflake. So now we can see, now we can easily understand this word. So Snowflake is a cloud-based
It's
data warehouse.
database. Yeah.
So now we can understand, right? So what is why we are calling this one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so in Snowflake also we have to do more and more work. Like we have to do cloud based and organize the data, managing the data, analyze a large amount of data, semi-structured data. We will learn more and more about the Snowflake in future. Okay,
Okay.
so we have to complete our session now itself only. Do you have any doubt as of now?
No, like on an overall Nizam, if I
Mhm.
go into this Snowflake projects or something,
Mhm.
my work will be like writing query or analyzing data.
Exactly,
Like,
you should write the query, and so now we will comes to the one more point. I will tell why we have to coming into the SQL. Suddenly, we are buying this databases only. Suddenly,
mm,
why where the SQL is coming into the picture? Now you have the one of the system. So this is a system. You have the keyboard as well and the mouse as well.
most.
They will be given to you. So they will telling to I'm telling to you open the notepad of your system. What you have to do? So you just accessing your mouse, just to move the mouse and click the Windows button and
Mm,
accessing with your keyboard, typing the notepad. Like
mm,
this only you have to open the notepad, right?
yeah,
So what are all the tools you are using? With using the keyboard and mouse. Without using keyboard, now I'm telling to you, I will never given to you keyboard and mouse. I just
mm,
given to you monitor only. So are you able to open the notepad without using the
no,
keyboard and mouse? We are not able to open, right? Anyway,
no.
I know this is a notepad. How can I open the notepad? I know. Even system also know this is a notepad.
Hmm.
Uh, ஒரு நிமிஷம். Okay. Yeah, this is how actually the system also know, but what the happening, system doesn't understand our language. What is our language? A system, open the
Yeah.
notepad. If I telling like that, is that system is opening, the
Yeah.
system will never consider, you, what you are talking to me. This system is never understanding the voice recognition. So system will understanding the system languages, which is a machine languages. So these are the machine. Without machine, we can't accessing this thing, right? Same thing we are also applied in here as well. So this is the database. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am in outside. I am
Hmm.
in outside. I'm asking to the database, hey database, can you open this data? The data will never respect us. So, Array, what you are asking to me, I'm not understanding like that. Only the
Hmm.
database will telling what we have to do. The database will understanding the only one language. That language is calling as a SQL.
Yeah.
SQL means structured query language.
Yeah.
Structured query language. If if you know the English means you can communicate it with everyone. If you know the Hindi means you can communicate it with the Hindi people only. You never communicate with other Tamil people, Telugu people, right? So
Yeah.
if you know the language, that people only you can communicate it. If you know the common language, okay, that example I will come later. So if you know the SQL, then only you have to communicate with the database, okay? Because database can understand the SQL only, okay?
Yeah.
That is the reason we have to coming into the SQL. Now they are telling us SQL is a common language, which is a universal language, which means like they are built the SQL as a one of the common language, which is a ANSI methodology. They are using for this American National Standard Institution. They are founded in the SQL, which is developed by the SQL, like which there are they are implement the SQL things. So now you can coming into the you know the Telugu, okay? If you
Hmm.
know the Telugu, you can communicate it only Telugu people. You are never communicated with the Hindi people or Tamil people, right?
Hmm.
So each and every region languages they communicated with their self only. If you know the English means you can communicate it with everyone, correct? You can
Yeah.
communicate it English because what is the reason? Because English is
Language.
a common language. None of the language is a common language. English is a common language. You can communicate it with everyone. So that it's the same thing. SQL is a common language. Why there as a why like a SQL, if you know the SQL, you can work with any databases. Here I have said lots of databases, right?
Hmm.
Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Teradata. If you know the SQL, don't worry, you can work with every databases. So that is what the power of the SQL. So that is a common language, but slightly some changes will happen. So if Oracle to compare with Oracle to Snowflake, we have to do some changes, slight changes, but every syntax has been the same only. Now
Yeah.
that is a reason the SQL is a major important to know. So if you know the SQL, then only you have to communicate it with the Snowflake. That is the reason I told you 15 days of the SQL session
Oh.
before knowing the Snowflake part. So there are some features we have to learn the Snowflake that is coming into this place. So basic SQL you have to learn on this place. Okay. So if you know the SQL, you can implement the same concept in a other language as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm sorry for that 15 minutes extra it's going. Anyway, I'm
Okay.
just completed to today this session now itself only. Do you
Yeah.
have any question you can ask with me?
No, Nizam, it was good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for
Thank you
today.
so much.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.